E-commerce in South Africa is only just getting started. And I want to show you how much further we've got to grow by showing you a live view of what the sales are happening or what sales are happening across the United States now. When I'm filming this on Black Friday, it's about nearly 3 p.m. South African time. So the Americans are just waking up and starting to place their orders. The dots that you see on the screen, the moving dots, are representations of an order moving from the merchant through to the customer, and the dots flying around the earth are when people are ordering or selling to an overseas country. And you see that there is a lot of activity happening in America. And if I just kind of rotate this world to show you what's happening in Australia, which is another first world country, you'll see there's lots and lots of activity there. And of course, each one of these shops, this is done by Shopify. And each one of these little dots is when a Shopify store owner gets a sale. And you can see that there's loads and loads of activity in Australia also. Let's go ahead to see what's happening in Europe. And you can see, wow, geez, it's going crazy there. They're also kind of midday, mid-afternoon, in the midst of Black Friday. And then by way of comparison, let me scroll down to the bottom tip of Africa and show you how little action is actually happening in South Africa. And when you see this, like I've been looking at this thinking, well, it's kind of shocking how little sales are actually happening here. And yet, e-commerce in South Africa, people still think that it's not going to grow anymore, or that it's reached some form of capacity, or that we have kind of hit a glass ceiling. And that is not the case whatsoever, because in South Africa, the amount of sales made online as e-commerce sales only represents about 4% of total GDP, total retail sales. In countries like America, it's 19% and still continues to grow. And the point of me filming this video is to show you how much growth we still have to come, because we are growing towards the 19%, towards the 25%. And that growth represents a massive opportunity for anybody who is looking at e-commerce, who's already started or is going to get started soon. Because in a couple of years' time, our graph down here in South Africa is going to look like the other ones right around the world, where you just see tons and tons of orders every single minute. In fact, if we look at the bottom of the screen here, it says orders per minute, 11,000, sales per minute, over $1 million being sold online. That's worldwide across all Shopify stores. It is amazing. And that shows you and improves the amount of growth that e-commerce in South Africa has and the size of the opportunity that this represents for you. So if you're still on the fence waiting to get into e-commerce, now is the time. If you are already selling online, well, then let me just give you a virtual high five, because you're in the right place. And this is going to keep growing forever and ever.